In ancient Greece, there was a wise philosopher named Socrates. He spent his life asking questions and seeking the truth. Today, we'll dive into 30 life lessons from Socrates through a conversation between Socrates and a curious man. Let's begin our journey of wisdom. The young man asks, "Socrates, what is the most important thing to know in life?" Socrates smiles and replies, "Know yourself. Without knowing who you truly are, you cannot make wise decisions." Socrates explains, "Understand your strengths, weaknesses, and passions. It's like a sailor knowing the winds and waves before setting sail." The young man asks, "Socrates, why do you always ask questions?" Socrates responds, "An unexamined life is not worth living. By questioning, we uncover the truth and learn more about the world." He continues, "Imagine if you accepted everything without question. You'd never grow. Like a plant that needs sunlight, your mind needs questions to flourish." The young man is curious. "Socrates, what is the best way to live?" Socrates answers, "Live a life of virtue. Virtue means living with honesty, courage, and kindness." He explains further, "If you act with virtue, you build a strong foundation, just like a house built on solid ground. Virtue keeps you steady, even in life's storms." The young man asks, "Socrates, how can I be wise?" Socrates replies, "True wisdom is knowing that you know nothing." He continues, "When you admit that you don't have all the answers, you open yourself up to learning more. It's like an empty cup ready to be filled with knowledge." The young man then asks, "What should I strive for in life?" Socrates answers, "Strive for the good. Seek to do good for yourself and others." He explains, "Imagine planting a tree. If you nurture it, it grows strong and provides shade for others. By pursuing goodness, you create a better world for everyone." The young man wonders, "Why is listening important, Socrates?" Socrates replies, "Speak less, listen more. When you listen, you learn." He adds, "Imagine a musician who never listens to the other instruments. The music would be chaotic. In life, listening helps you harmonize with others." The young man asks, "How should I live to find happiness?" Socrates responds, "Live simply. Don't complicate your life with unnecessary things." He continues, "Like a painter who uses only a few colors but creates a beautiful masterpiece, simplicity leads to clarity and joy." The young man asks him, "Socrates, how can I be brave?" Socrates answers, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to overcome it." He explains, "Think of a sailor facing a storm. Courage is what keeps him steering the ship even when the waves are high." Then the young man asks, "Socrates, how will I be remembered?" Socrates smiles and says, "Live wisely and your wisdom will be your legacy." He continues, "Like a candle that lights other candles, your wisdom will continue to shine in the lives of others, long after you are gone." The young man continues, "Socrates, how can I find balance in life?" Socrates answers, "Practice moderation. Too much of anything can be harmful." He explains, "Just like a musician who balances the notes to create harmony, you should balance your desires and actions to live peacefully." The young man inquires, "How do I deal with difficult situations, Socrates?" Socrates replies, "Be patient. Patience is the companion of wisdom." He explains further, "Think of a farmer waiting for his crops to grow. Rushing won't make them grow faster. Patience allows time for growth and understanding." The young man asks, "Socrates, what role does friendship play in life?" Socrates responds, "Friendship is a gift that brings joy and support. A true friend is someone who helps you become a better person." He adds, "Like two stones sharpening each other, friends help each other grow and improve." The young man asks, "How do I cope with changes in life?" Socrates replies, "Embrace change. It's the only constant in life." He continues, "Like a river that flows and changes course, life is always moving. Accepting change helps you flow with life's currents rather than fighting against them." The young man asks, "Socrates, what is the value of giving?" Socrates replies, "Giving brings joy, not only to the receiver but also to the giver." He explains, "When you give to others, you create a bond of kindness. It's like a tree giving fruit. The more it gives, the stronger it becomes." The young man also asks, "What should I do when I fail, Socrates?" Socrates responds, Failure is a stepping stone to success. Don't fear it, learn from it. He continues, think of a potter shaping clay. The first attempt might crack, but each failure brings the potter closer to perfection. The young man asks, how important is knowledge, Socrates? Socrates replies, knowledge is the light that guides us through the darkness of ignorance. He adds, like a lamp in a dark room, knowledge helps you see things clearly and make informed decisions. The young man asks, what brings true happiness, Socrates? Socrates answers, happiness comes from appreciating the simple things in life. He continues, like enjoying a meal with friends or watching the sunset, the simplest moments are often the most fulfilling. The young man asks, how can I be strong, Socrates? Socrates replies, true strength comes from having good character. It's about being honest, fair, and kind, even when it's hard. He adds, character is like a strong oak tree. It stands tall even in the face of storms. The young man asks, what is humility, Socrates? Socrates responds, humility is knowing your own limits and respecting others. He explains, it's like a mountain that doesn't boast of its height but provides a place for all to climb. Being humble helps you grow and learn from others. The young man continues, why is silence important, Socrates? Socrates replies, in silence we find clarity and understanding. It's where true wisdom speaks. He continues, imagine a calm lake. When it's still, you can see your reflection clearly. Silence helps us see the truth within. The young man asks, how can I stay positive, Socrates? Socrates responds, focus on the good in every situation. Positivity is like the sun, it helps things grow. He adds, just as flowers turn toward the light, your mind will flourish when it focuses on positive thoughts. The young man asks, why is gratitude important, Socrates? Socrates replies, gratitude turns what we have into enough. It's like turning a simple meal into a feast. He explains, when you appreciate what you have, you find joy in the small things. The young man asks, how important is honesty, Socrates? Socrates responds, honesty is the foundation of trust. Without it, relationships crumble. He continues, think of honesty as the bedrock of a house. If the foundation is weak, the house cannot stand. Build your life on honesty, and it will remain strong. The young man asks, why should I help others, Socrates? Socrates replies, helping others brings joy and meaning to life. It's like lighting a candle. It loses nothing by lighting another, yet the light grows stronger. The young man asks, how should I value my time, Socrates? Socrates responds, time is your most precious resource. Use it wisely. He adds, like water slipping through your fingers, time cannot be held onto, so make the most of each moment. The young man also asks, how do I deal with anger, Socrates? Socrates replies, forgiveness is the key to peace. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal, it burns you more than anyone else. The young man asks, how can I learn from my experiences, Socrates? Socrates replies, reflection is the mirror of the soul. Take time to look back and learn. He adds, just as a sculptor examines his work to improve it, reflect on your actions to grow wiser. The young man asks, how can I find peace in life, Socrates? Socrates responds, contentment comes from within, not from what you own. He explains, like a traveler who carries little but feels light and free, learn to be content with what you have and you'll find peace. As the sun sets, the young man reflects on everything Socrates has taught him. He says, Socrates, I've learned so much, but what is the most important lesson of all? Socrates smiles and replies, life itself is the greatest lesson. Embrace it with curiosity, kindness, and love. The conversation ends, but the wisdom of Socrates lives on. These 30 life lessons are more than just words. They are guides for living a meaningful and fulfilling life. Remember, wisdom begins with asking questions and seeking the truth. Let these lessons light your path, just as they did for the young man who spoke with Socrates. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Socrates. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found these lessons helpful. Stay curious and keep seeking wisdom.